going on, everyone? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Monday, January 20th, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moonbase. It's good to be back here with all of you. It's been a long 2 months. This is my first video of this year, so had some wild health issues I've been dealing with for the past 2 months, and then I just moved into this room from the old room that you guys, have seen me do all my other videos in. So now we have this whole space here. So the past 2 months has been a massive transition. Of course, the fires have affected my family and my children like very deeply. Their grandmother lost their house. My children have been able to go to school. So, they're out of the state right now. I'm still here working. So it's been a lot. And I know we've all been going through a lot. And of course, today is one of the most powerful, potent days of 2025, which we haven't got to talk about at all. But of course, with this inauguration and this whole new energy coming through, of course, today is the final Sun-Pluto conjunction that really is setting the tone for the next 19 years with Pluto here in Aquarius. And we can see very clearly how that Uranian Aquarian energy has totally radicalized and shocked the world, and both of the light and dark spectrum. So, when we look at it, especially today, because right now this is the Sun Pluto here. For me, it's 12:30. Okay, we still have over the next hour here. And that's why I wanted to wait to do this, to do the video, was, to capture this energy right here, because we just had the inauguration, right? Despite the political atmosphere, this is just the reflection of the energy going on in the world. When we're talking about leaving Pluto in Capricorn, leaving, Pluto in Capricorn and Capricorn season, now the sun's in Aquarius as of yesterday, it's like we could see that there has been a complete massive transformation within the connections of the world and how we want to reinvent things and, relook at the structure of our world. And the old institutionalized control system it's very clear. I think we can all see that it's crumbling, it's dissolving, especially here with Saturn, Venus, and Neptune in the North Node. There's a lot of dissolution going on. It's, the past. We're talking about Neptune, Pisces, with the North Node, now in Pisces. It's like, we all are feeling called on this spiritual mission to get closer to, that inner deep subconscious space that connects us to that non-physical realm, so that's what is dissolving now, is this old outdated structure, that now we have to filter out the leftovers, because now we are in this new phase here with Pluto in Aquarius, Sun in Aquarius, and here within the next hour we're having the conjunction. And this is it. This is what the next 19 years are going to feel like. So we have to look at 2008 and what happened in 2008 when Pluto came into Capricorn. Look, remember the feeling. I was 17 years old. Okay, my career was just really starting to happen, as a recording artist, and really amazing things were happening in my life as a young person. But also at the same time, this was the end of George Bush, the incoming of Barack Obama. There is a similar feeling because that was the Pluto transition from Sagittarius to Capricorn, which we just went through, and we're finalizing today, within the next hour. It's over. But remember that feeling in 2008 when it came in. I think collectively you can see it's like that was Obama's whole thing, right? Is change, right? That was the first. Was it Yes We Can or Change? Either way, you know what I mean? It was like you could see it. I remember watching like the celebration on TV, and you could see the people, and just like people were so ready to get out of the 9/11 Iraq War BS, and we're ready for this new thing, and it's here again. No matter what, despite the politics, we're just looking at it from an astrological perspective, because this is how we understand astrology. This is what mundane astrology is all about, and evolutionary astrology. And of course, when we look at it from an evolutionary standpoint, this goes back 248 years ago with the birth of the United States. So there's this revolutionary energy. There's this radicalization, radicalization frequency, I don't even know how to put it, within us, where it's just like, I'm ready for whatever the fuck it is. I don't know what it's going to be, but we're ready for it because something's got to change, and we feel it. We feel it in our personal lives, and with Mercury and moving through Capricorn, which is so great coming out of that Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius we had going into the new year. So it's like I think coming from a grounded standpoint of looking and assessing our reality and the structure of our reality and the work that we're putting in and what we're doing. Of course, today the moon's going to square Mercury. So, be careful driving. Don't get the temper too hot. With Mercury being in Capricorn, it's like, when there's solutions with this moon in Libra squaring Mercury, it's like we got to find solutions with Mercury and the moon squaring each other in these cardinal signs. Because it's like, well, I'm going this direction. And the moon's like, well, we should go this direction. And Mercury's like, well, we have to go in this direction. This is where we're supposed to go. And we need to go here. And we need to think about this plan and this structure. But ultimately, we want to find balance. So both halves of the parties can work it out. Or whatever relationship issues that come up where it's just like you're trying to control too much, there's going to be some emotional interaction where it's like, hey, we need to find balance. But of course, with the moon in Libra, it's all about diplomacy today. So it's being diplomatic, seeing the structure of the future and sticking to it, sticking to the plan. And with Pluto fully in Aquarius and the Sun-Pluto conjunction today, this is the moment where you want to say it out loud. It's like, this is how I want to change my life in radical ways and transform my life in ways that I never could have imagined before, that I never thought was possible. And that's what this is all about, is with Uranus and Aquarius energy, it's all about the possibilities that you're not seeing. You may not see it right in front of you. And of course, with this Neptune North Node and Venus and Saturn, it's like, you can't necessarily see your purpose and your destiny at this moment. And I think this is what this Neptune North Node conjunction that's happening with this Sun-Pluto conjunction, this is what's awakening people, because Aquarius and Pisces are the last two signs of the zodiac. So this is the most non-physical part of the zodiac. This is where it is Capricorn season, which ended yesterday, and now we're in Aquarius. It's like now we are in that frequency. We're not in Capricorn frequency anymore. At all. Like the next 20 years is going to be this spiritual revolutionary energy that's going to be transforming the world. And it already has before we even got here, right? Just within the past 6 months. And I think, of course, looking at 2024, that's what it was all about. And today is that landmark moment with this Sun-Pluto conjunction that's about to happen here any moment, where we're looking to the next wave, the next generations. Of course, when we look at Pluto cycles, this is where we see the generations, where we see the baby boomers and the Pluto in Virgo. And we see, the Pluto Leo and the Pluto Virgo. And of course, Gen X with the Pluto Libra, and the millennials with, Pluto Scorpio, and the Gen Zs, the Pluto Sag kids. I don't even know what we're calling the Pluto Capricorn kids yet. If you know, let me know in the comment. But, this is where we see the generations. So this is a new generation being born. Okay, and it's the most radical generation that we're going to have. It's the most transformational generation that we're going to have, because we haven't seen this, especially when we're talking about the United States and everything that we're going through here in our own country. It's like, this is our first Pluto return. Most countries in the world, they're thousands of years old. They've had many Pluto returns. They've had many rise and falls of power. Pluto's about power. And with it being in Aquarius, it's really about power, literally and, metaphorically, So I think we just have to be ready and say it out loud. It's like, I'm ready to transform my fucking life. Uranus and Taurus, dispositing Pluto. It's like we have to approach things and, be willing to transform our lives in practical ways, and not completely just, the other side of Aquarius where it's like, I'm just going to do this crazy radical experiment and see what happens. It's like, the lessons with Pluto and Capricorn it's like, if you want to build something powerful and great, it's got to have a solid structure, but it's also got to be built out of integrity. Okay. Pluto and Aquarius is going to expose the people who are not being integral. And it's going to expose people in your lives who really, they're not on the same frequency as you, because when we're talking about Aquarius and Uranus, it's about frequency. So when we're having issues, especially today with the moon and Mars making this square, and Mars preparing over the next few days to oppose, or Mercury preparing the next few days to oppose Mars, which is incredibly rare. We only see a Mars-Mercury opposition during a Mars retrograde, which is every 2 years, 2.5 years roughly. So people born with Mercury-Mars oppositions, they're rare people. So this is where we really have to find solutions and agreements and not fight for control. And also on the other end with this Mars and Cancer, it's like, don't let the emotions just dictate like your aggression or your behavior. It's like we have to actually look at things practically and move forward with purpose. Mercury in Capricorn is all about being mentally connected to your purpose and your destiny and doing what you're supposed to do. Capricorn, Saturn's all about what we're supposed to do. And let's look at this from a relationship standpoint, because I've been gone for a while. We haven't got to talk about a lot that's happened. So this Venus-Saturn, now that Venus is already, separating from Saturn, which is good. There's been a lot of tests in our relationships, and I think to really summarize this, it's like what relationships are based in the spiritual, and that, a synchronistic connection. Like if these relationships, whether it's business or love or creative partnerships, or even, any sort of creative or spiritual partnership or business or money, it's just like, if it's not based in, rooted in your spirituality or your faith, it's not going to be as solid as it could be, because Venus being in Pisces, which is exalted, and Saturn being in Pisces, which is not an easy placement, and Neptune in the North Node, like this is really the two biggest focus right now is this Sun, Pluto in Aquarius, and all this Pisces energy. We are in the outer realms. We are in the non-physical realms. So relationships and everything, the synchronicities that are going to be happening in our lives over these next 18 months with this North Node transit. And also with Saturn there, which won't meet in Pisces, they'll meet in Aries. But, these are spiritual lessons. These are spiritual tests. Of course, there's two ways, the outcome, where it's like, really cultivating and developing a solid foundation spiritually, creatively, artistically, and in, definitely in our love life, which is all necessary. But on the other side of that, it's like if you're running from reality, karmically, those are going to open up doors and lead to potential, very Neptunian, Pisces outcomes. So I really do feel like this is a moment. And with the North and South Node, it's either we're going towards the future or we're going towards the past. And it's like we don't want to get stuck in overanalyzing and looking at things, too critically, or getting stuck in a critical state of mind. It's like we have to stay in the flow with this North Node and Pisces, and with Neptune and with Venus and Saturn. We have to keep trusting, even like, it's like you lose everything. All these people, including my family and, my children who are affected deeply, like all these people, it's just, their houses burned down, and what are they going to do? They can't, just sit there and fixate. Oh, well, we got to do this. We got to solve this problem. It's like, okay, this, the Virgo, the neuroticism. It's like, okay, this happened. It's beyond my control. Everything that is meant for me is going to open up. You have to surrender with this North Node in Pisces, and with Neptune and Venus and Saturn. It's like in relationships, we have to surrender and just trust and have faith. And the things that are not based in truth will be exposed with Pluto and Aquarius. If there are people who are coming at life or coming at you from manipulation or trying to control you or projecting onto you out of full lack of self-awareness, this is where that's going to get exposed, where people's subconscious and unconscious projections are going to be highlighted. The Sun and Pluto, the Sun meeting with Pluto, this is highlighting our unconscious state. And I think unconsciously we're ready for change. We're ready for something radical. We're ready for something new, right? But it's got to be based in faith with this North Node. And Neptune and North Node is going to be dissolving any deception. Obviously, we're going to be seeing some of the greatest deceptions, and we've been seeing that with Neptune and Pisces since 2011. But the veil, this Neptunian veil, this fog is going to slowly, as Saturn gets closer and closer, to Neptune, and when Saturn and the North Node meet, and Venus, and these next few months, when Mars goes direct and Venus goes retrograde the day after Mars goes direct, this is a restructuring coming in here. It's like, last year in 2024, we came into the new year with all planets direct. New Year's Eve, Mercury goes direct. New Year's Day, Jupiter goes direct. And then bam, it was a whole different vibe. This is like, holy shit, like, it's like the fires. I keep using that as an example because that's really, really hitting home, right? Literally. It's like when everything's gone, it's just, you can see, it's just, now we have to keep moving forward. We can't just get stuck. I just said that, but I'm just, it's really being able to let go and have faith, because there's going to be a lot of exposure where people are trying to fight for power and control, through connections and relationships and friendships and, groups, when it comes to groups, there's going to be the groups that are really rebelling and fighting a good fight, and there's going to be a lot of groups who are really fighting for power and control, and especially when it comes to technology. I mean, when we looked at I watched the inauguration, and it's like, who do you see sitting behind Trump? You see Elon Musk, you see Jeff Bezos, you see Mark Zuckerberg, you see the guy from Google. They're all sure, the figurehead of leadership is one thing. Now, where the real power lies, which we're going to be finding out, which we already know, but we're going to see it keep manifesting. In the sun and Pluto, the sun is highlighting Pluto. It's lighting it up for everybody to see, and we can see it. That really the power lies in technology, in AI, obviously social media, controlling narratives and, what people see and, all of that kind of stuff. So we're going to be waking up to this stuff even more, but also like this is where the real battle lies with this Mars retrograde. This is where the real battle lies. It's an emotional battle. And I think with this Mars in Cancer and Pluto, or the sun coming through Capricorn, without Pluto in Capricorn for the first time since 2007, 8, this last Capricorn season was a totally different vibe, right? And Mars in Capricorn, is like, or Mars in Cancer is kind of like, it kind of doesn't know what to do with itself. It's been in this bind with Pluto opposing Cancer for over a decade. So it's kind of like, this is when the Cancer baby child starts to become, an adult or, an adolescent, so to say, right? That's where Leo is. That's what Gemini and Cancer. It's like the adolescent, the teenager, Gemini, Leo, very teenager vibes, right? So this is where, and it's a struggle for Mars right now. Mars hates being in Cancer, and it's moving very slow. Okay, it won't be direct until the first week of March. So, and we have to look at things very patiently. We have to be objective and put our emotions aside. If we could really put our emotions aside with this Aquarius energy that's now coming through, and let that emotional frequency, from that deeper place, from that more Piscean, Neptune, 12th house space, it's going to be a lot easier to navigate these radical times because we don't have the same kind of solid foundation with that Pluto and Capricorn. No matter how intense it was with dealing with the powers of the world and corporations and the institutions and all that, that's done. All that's going to be gone. It's going to be gone. And we can see it now. The next big wave is really a technocracy, right? But also people coming together in groups and banding together with like-minded people where hey, our frequencies match. Let's come together and utilize that, right? Where the real clash is where frequencies get mismatched. So I think this is the next big wave, the next big energy of the world we're stepping into. Of course, here in the next half hour, the sun and Pluto is going to meet. We've been waiting for this day for quite a long time, and I mean, we have to be really excited about the potential for the world and for everybody and for humanity. That's what Aquarius is all about. It's all about humanity and looking at things from a new perspective and a radical perspective that we've never thought we could acquire, and trying new things. I think we have to look at things a lot differently now, and whether you like it or not, nothing is the same. Nothing is what it was 3 months ago. Nothing is what it was 6 months ago. It's like 2024 was this complete filter, and now here we are in this whole new state. So I hope this Sun-Pluto this Sun-Pluto conjunction in Aquarius is really igniting this kind of radical energy for you to radicalize your life. This is the opportunity. It's like you want to make big changes and you want to, fully just say, I want to do something different. You're going to see people like very Aquarius punk rock energy. It's like, well, fuck it. I'm going to shave my head, or fuck it. Like, you know what? Like, I'm going to buy a race car, or I'm going to shoot rockets into space. Just anything radical and unconventional. And if you think that it aligns with your soul, because Pluto is the soul, you got to have faith in that with this North Node in Pisces and Neptune. It's like, you got to have faith that these are the right things for your soul. And only that in that unconscious and subconscious space, which is so highlighted with all this Aquarius energy and Pisces energy. So it's good to be back. My health is getting a lot better. I wasn't walking for 2 months, so I had to stop doing videos. So I know a lot of people reached out. I appreciate it. But I'm feeling good. On top of that, with my family being, not here right now, my kids, it's been really hard. So they're in New Mexico right now. Their grandmother's house burnt down. My son, he goes to school in Malibu. His school, part of it was gone, so he hasn't been going to school since December. And he goes to his grandma's house every day after school. So it's been really crazy. The shit's real. The people in my family who have been affected deeply and lost their things, I feel a lot for. So it's really, really horrible. And people who I know here in LA, clients, it's totally shaking things up. This is Aquarius energy, because when the house burnt down, they sent me a video, like, look, it's gone. It's really sad. It's really horrible. But, coming at it from an astrological perspective and an Aquarian perspective, it's like, this is the time where it's like we're developing a new sense to just not hold on to the past and want to control the past, right? That's what Pluto and Capricorn was. It's like, you know what? This happened. This is an opportunity to build something new. That could be, a much bigger, brighter, more beautiful thing. So I hope y'all are doing amazing. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to have my 2025 video up. I'm going to have my monthly sun signs, and I have a weekly show coming out. So I have this whole new studio here. It's taken me 2 months to move into here. I want to give a little tour. It's super cool. We have the whole space, because I was in the other room before, which most of you probably have seen my videos from in there. So I have a lot of cool shit that I've been wanting to get out. Of course, with my new website, go to my new website, alexskylesastrology.com. My 2025 readings are available for much cheaper, and my evolutionary astrology course is now available if you want to purchase that. There's 12 slots. I think I have 10. 2 people already signed up. So there's 10 slots left. So if you want to do that, and it's really awesome. It's more freeform. It's more intuitive learning, which is how I learn. I'm not a person who can sit in class and just sit there to a teacher, talk to me and take notes. I can't do that. I have to be inside of it, put my hands on it and feel it. It has to be, understood from an individual perspective. I think that's how I've learned anything that I know, astrology being one of them, where it's, I was inside of it. I put myself inside of it and I get my hands on it. And of course I was around it with people who also understand it growing up, who allowed me to put my hands on it. So that's how I want to be able to teach astrology, because I know a lot of you want to learn. And that's why we consume astrology content. I think there are people who are consuming astrology content who really want to learn and really want to understand, and there are people who really just want a good message. So for the people who really want to learn, this is definitely something for you, and I'm super stoked to be able to finally get to a place to teach, because that's what I really want to do. I love making videos. I love doing I love sharing it, because if I'm not sharing it, it's just in my head, and what good is that? So if you're wanting to learn, go to my website and check out my course that is available, and there's 10 slots left. So we're going to keep it rolling. Happy Pluto and Aquarius for good. The Sun-Pluto conjunction is powerful. It's going to be happening here in the next hour or so. So soak it in. Go outside. Go outside. Look at the sun. Feel the sun. If you're, in a part of the world where you can see the sun, go look at it. Go feel it. Go take it in and know that this next 20 years is going to transform your life. It's going to transform the world. And this is also the same transit that brought our collective to where we are at now, that allowed us to even be sitting here with technology, sharing our voices. Because it's not just my voice here. I talk to so many people who, watch these videos or find me on the internet, and it's that's really incredible. And thank you to all the people who did reach out, who heard, the news about the fires and all that. And there's so many people who reached out to me, and people from High Vibe and David and all the, and letting people know and keeping me in my family and my children in your thoughts. That really means a lot to me, and I appreciate it. It's been a rough few months. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Go to my website, check out my 2025 readings, my school, and all that good shit. So I'll see y'all tomorrow, and I got a bunch of cool shit coming soon. Peace out. Have a good one.